All right, so in this, be quiet, we're going to type in slope, we're going to type in y-intercept, we're going to type in the number of months, because some of you guys don't start at 2016. I remember when we looked this up on Spotify, I helped a group, is it this class that had Spotify? Spotify didn't become publicly traded until, hey, be quiet and listen, until 2018. So they don't have the same number of months. So that's why you need to type in the number of months. And then we're estimating the value per share in 2042 if it follows the current trend. Do me a favor, highlight and on your Chromebooks, because you're going to have to use two fingers. You're going to have to click and hold one finger down and then drag the other one to highlight all this. Let's put a border around this. Click up here once that's highlighted and just put the border. And then lastly, I've got everything, whoops, I don't want bold. I want everything to be 12-point font, okay? Because I'm old and I can't see. I probably need to go and get some glasses, to be honest with you.
Can you get the glasses?
I haven't worn glasses in a while. I had an eye exam a while back, and they said I don't need to wear glasses, but maybe I do soon.
They were stupid, probably.
Anyways, let's finish this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the scatter plot, which has calculated the line of best fit. What's the slope? Can somebody tell me? Raise your hand. Yes. Yeah, in this particular case, the slope for that linear equation is 3.98. I'm just going to type that value in. What's the y-intercept? Yes.
Negative 64.2.
Negative 64.2. You guys see where they're getting that from? This is the slope. This is y equals mx plus b. You got to look at that little negative symbol, changes it a little bit. So I'm going to say negative 64.2. Yeah. And now for me, the number of months until 2042 is going to be 19 years. Times 12 months per year, which, if you do the math on that, is 228. Now, if you happen to have Spotify, they didn't start publicly until 2018, and I think it was the second or third quarter. So you got to calculate the number of months. Now, this is an equation. This is the equation where, whenever we enter an equation in a spreadsheet, highlight the cell where you want the value, but we're going to calculate that value. So we're going to put equal sign way up here. Now this tells me the row column box. In other words, this is column J, row 2, and that says J2. Now, if you notice when I put equal, see how this f of x symbol kind of pops up? Now, my slope is going to be multiplied by x. What's x?
What?
The number of months. So what is the slope, though? Now, where is that located on the spreadsheet?
G2.
Yeah, G2. Now, I noticed some kids typed it in different spots, but if I don't know where it is, I could just click on it. And when I click on it, notice over here, and let me zoom in a little bit so you guys could see it. When I click on that, it says equals G2. Now, the time symbol is Shift 8, the little asterisk, so I'm going to put that in there. And what's the x value?
The intercept.
No, that's the intercept.
What? Value per share?
So y equals mx plus b. What is the x?
Months?
Months. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's the number of months. Oh, she's really surprised. Oh, really? So it's the number of months. Notice, so I'm saying whatever's in G2, multiply that by whatever's in I2. And how did I tell the computer that? I simply clicked on the number of months. Now, if it's mx plus b, now I've just got to put plus b. Where is plus b located? The y-intercept. So I just click on that. That's all I need to do. Now, this is the funny part. Kids didn't know what to do after this. You just hit enter.
Oh, that's crazy.
And this is what it does, is it calculates the value per share in 2042. Yes. Do you have a question? Okay. All right. Can I move on? Do you guys need a second? Yes. I can pause the video if you guys want to. Well, let me pause the video and answer some questions. All right. So now that just tells me the value of shares, but we got to figure out how many shares and how much money he's investing. So for some of you, you'll invest the whole 100,000 in one stock. For some of you, you want to do 50,000 in two stocks. Whatever. Well, you do about 33,333.
Huh?
And you don't have to do it evenly. You could do 40, 40, and 20. So right here underneath, let's type, or under the slope, but give yourself a space, let's put investment, okay, and then put a $sign. And then next to that, so that's how much money we're going to, how would we calculate this?
How do we calculate what?
How do we calculate how much money George is going to have in 2042?
So you have to you have to look at the value at the end of 2022 and divide your investment by that, and that's how many shares you can buy.
Okay, good. Stop. I'm going to pause you right there. So what you said was, let me type it. You are 100% correct. So they said, well, we need to know the value in 2022. So maybe I'll delete this and we'll say value per share. Actually, you know what? I'm going to
2022 and then number of shares.
Yeah. So I'm going to put value because we have a little more space here. Value per share in 2022. Okay, so type that there. And then over here, we're still going to do investment. And I'm going to put a $sign. And what she said was, I need to know this price. So we need to find the number of shares. So I'm going to say number of shares. I'm going to slide that over a little bit. And once I know the number of shares, and I know the value, I think that's it, right? So let's I'm going to highlight this. So mark that, you guys, and I got to zoom out so I can see what I'm doing here. And let's choose this option to put that in and highlight the border so I know what the values are associated with. Okay. So the investment amount we're going to type in, but this is a calculation. So the value of shares in 2022 is going to vary for each stock, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come, so let me show you this trick. I'm going to let this pull this value from the data that I copied it and pasted. So I'm going to go up here, I double check J, column J, row 5, J5. I'm going to type equals. And I'm going to pull the value from the last price in 2022. So all the way down at the bottom, 12/1 of 2022. And if I click on this cell, what I'm telling the spreadsheet is whatever number is in this cell, put it in J5. So now what do I hit after I enter in a formula? Enter or return, depending on your computer. And now I got to go back up and see how it copied and pasted that. Okay. So and double check and make sure it should be C85, but some of you had some stocks that weren't from 2016 to 2022. So where that value comes from is the last one on the bottom of the list. Now, the number of shares, how do I figure out the number of shares? Yes.
So you have to divide your investment by your value, the very end value in 2022, and then you'll have your number of shares, and you have to multiply that by your value per share to get your net worth for George. Yeah,
you got it. So she answered it, the next question, but she said to find your number of shares, you have to, so I'm going to, in that box, I'm going to put equals, and she said you take your investment amount, which I don't know what it is yet, but it's going to go in this box, right?
Yeah.
This divided by, that's the division symbol, it's the same as the question mark.
Shift the question mark and then
Yeah.
it's divided.
Well, you don't have to shift the question mark. Wherever the question mark is. Okay. And then divided by what? The value in 2022, which is in this box. Boom. After I've entered in the formula, how do I let the computer know that I'm done typing in the formula?
Enter or return depending on the computer.
Hit enter or return depending on the computer. I hit enter. Right now it says 0. Why? I haven't typed in. So if I type in $100,000, I can buy about 500 shares. Now, if I have 3 stocks and I type in $33,300.33, I can only buy 169 shares. Now, we've got to change some things. Notice that this is a dollar amount. Yeah, so let me show you that. So for the investment, it should be a dollar amount. So you go to Format, click Format. The second option is Number. You could tell the computer what type of number you have. Currency is the dollar amount, right? So I'm going to select Currency, and it puts a little dollar sign there. Because this is a dollar and this is a dollar, now it automatically changes this to just a number. So now for here, I only want to round to the 2s. So if you see this, it decreases the number of decimal points. So if I click once, it's 1 less decimal place. So I'm just going to keep clicking that till I have 2 decimal. Well, actually, I'll just do it to a whole number. Okay. Now, the last thing we want to do is over here, I'm going to type in Gorgeous net worth. Now, that's not some of my economics colleagues would say that's not necessarily the proper terminology, Mr. Adams, but it's okay. So what I'm really trying to say is that how much money will George have from this investment? And that's a calculation too. So let's highlight this, okay? And we're going to go in here and we're going to do this, all right? By the way, am I going too fast? Is everybody with me? Yeah? What's your question?
Oh, I was about to answer how you did that.
Oh, you want to answer how to do that?
Yeah.
Now, this is a formula too. So how do I calculate that value? So I'm going to put equals, and what do I do? Tell me.
Number of shares multiplied by your value per share in 2042.
That's right. So if I buy this number of shares, notice it doesn't put 169, it puts H5. Because this number will change. And I have to multiply, because this is the value in 2042, so I'm going to multiply Shift 8. That's where you get the multiplication symbol. It's called an asterisk. I'm going to multiply whatever the value per share in 2042 is, and then what do I do when I'm done entering? I said the answer. When I'm done entering in a formula, hit enter or return, depending on your computer. Same thing here. This is a dollar amount, so I go to Format. Well, you know what I could do? I could change this to a dollar amount, and you could do it here. See this dollar symbol?
Oh.
That's just a quicker way. And then when you do that, it automatically rounds it to the nearest penny. So for this particular stock, if he invests... Now watch this. This is really cool. If I change my mind and say, you know what, that's a lot of money. Let me take the whole $100,000. Oh, that's $1 million. And invest that. Now he's going to make that much money. So everything is dynamic based on the information you plug in. Now, here's the beauty of this. Oh, lastly, what we want to do is we want to highlight all this and make it 12-point font. Okay. Now, here's the beauty. Here's why I changed this. If I highlight all this and hit Control-C and copy it, and I go to my next company over here, and I go to this place right here and I hit paste, boom. Now you'll have to enter in different values. And then I could go to stock B ticker plot and do this, boom. And then I could go to stock C and boom. And then, now the only thing you got to do is you got to remember some kids forgot to enter in the slope and intercept based on the graph. Okay? Are there any questions? Okay, so I'm recording this, and I'm going to swap out the video because this is a shorter one. Okay?